There are 5 things you must quietly eliminate to become powerful, and you must tell no one you're doing it. Right now, you're leaking power. 5 leaks, 5 drains, 5 holes in your bucket that are emptying everything you pour in. You've been trying to become powerful by adding more habits, more discipline, more effort, more skills, more grinding, more everything. But it doesn't matter how much you add if it's all leaking out. You can't fill a bucket with holes in it, and your bucket has 5 holes. Power doesn't come from what you build, it comes from what you eliminate. Every powerful person you know isn't powerful because of what they have. They're powerful because of what they removed. The distractions they cut, the drains they sealed, the people they eliminated, the habits they killed, the weaknesses they erased. They plugged the holes first, and now everything they pour into themselves stays. Nothing leaks, nothing drains, everything compounds. But here's what most people get wrong. They announce their eliminations. They tell everyone what they're cutting. They post about their changes. They tell friends, I'm removing this person from my life. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm changing everything. And then 3 things happen. People who benefit from your weakness try to stop you. People who failed at the same thing discourage you. And people who fear your power use your announcement against them. Every elimination you announce is a battle you have to fight. Every change you broadcast is an opportunity for interference. There's something about power that most people miss. The transformation must be silent, invisible, undetectable until complete. You don't announce you're becoming powerful, you just quietly become powerful. And by the time anyone notices, by the time they realize you're different, it's too late. The leaks are sealed, the power is built. They missed their window to stop you. They had their chance when you were weak and leaking everywhere, but you didn't give them a warning. You didn't broadcast your moves. You executed in silence, and now they have to deal with the result. This video reveals 5 things leaking your power right now. 5 drains you probably don't even recognize as drains. And for each one, I'll show you how to eliminate it quietly, without announcements, without drama, without giving anyone the chance to interfere. When this video ends, you'll know exactly what to cut and exactly how to cut it without anyone knowing until it's already done. But you have to follow one rule. Tell no one. Don't share this video and say, I'm doing this now. Don't tell your friends what you're eliminating. Don't announce your changes on social media. Don't ask for accountability partners or support groups. Just quietly execute. Let them wonder what happened to you. Let them realize too late that you're not the same person. That's how power is built, in silence, in shadow, until it's undeniable. The first thing you must quietly eliminate is explanations. You explain yourself constantly. Someone questions your decision and you justify it. Someone asks why you did something and you give them reasons. Someone looks at you sideways and you feel the need to make them understand. You've been trained to explain, to justify, to make people comfortable with your choices. But every time you explain yourself, you leak power. You move from an offensive position to a defensive position. You give them ammunition to argue with. You show them that you need their understanding. And the moment they know you need their understanding, they have leverage over you. Watch what happens when someone questions you and you explain. They argue with your reasons. They poke holes in your logic. They make you defend something that didn't need defending. Now you're on trial. Now you're seeking approval from the jury. Now they have power over you because you gave them the position of judge. All because you explained when you should have stayed silent. Here's how you eliminate explanations without anyone noticing. You don't announce, I don't explain myself anymore. That's just another form of explanation. Instead, you just stop explaining. Someone asks why you did something. You say, because I wanted to. Or you say nothing at all. You smile. You move on. You don't justify, you don't give reasons, you don't try to make them understand. At first, people will press harder. They're used to explanations from you. They expect them. But when they consistently get nothing, they stop asking. They learn that you don't explain, and they never heard you announce it. It just became true. If you announce that you're done explaining yourself, you invite challenges. People will specifically try to get explanations out of you. They'll test the new boundary. They'll see it as a game to win. But if you just quietly stop, there's nothing to test. There's no announcement to challenge. There's just a person who doesn't explain anymore. By the time they realize you've changed, they've already accepted it. The window to challenge you closed before they knew it was open. One should never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception. The silent approach is more powerful than the declared approach. The person who announces, "I don't explain," becomes a target. The person who just stops explaining becomes a mystery. You want to be a mystery. You want them wondering, not challenging. Don't fight for the right to not explain. Just don't explain. The fight was never necessary. That's the first elimination. Explanations. Stop giving them quietly. But there's another leak that connects to this one. Another way you're draining power without even knowing it. This one affects how people value you. What is it? The second thing you must quietly eliminate is availability. You're too available, too reachable, too accessible. Anyone can get your time. Anyone can get your attention. Anyone can get a response from you. You respond to messages immediately. You accept invitations without hesitation. You make time for anyone who asks. And every time you do, you drain power. Because scarcity creates value. Availability destroys it. The more available you are, the less valuable you become. The less people have to work to reach you, the less they appreciate reaching you. Think about the people you value most. Are they the ones who respond instantly to every message? Are they the ones who are always free when you want to hang out? Are they the ones who accept every invitation? No, the people you value are the ones who are hard to reach, whose time feels precious, who you have to work to get access to. Their scarcity creates value in your mind. You pursue them because they're not available. Meanwhile, the people who are always available, you take them for granted. You know they'll be there, so they matter less. Here's how you eliminate availability quietly, without anyone noticing. You don't announce, "I'm less available now." That's just another form of explanation. Instead, you just stop being available. Someone asks for a time, you respond slower. Not to play games because you're busy building power. You accept fewer invitations, not to be rude because your time is actually valuable. You create space between requests and responses. You create scarcity without ever saying the word scarcity. People will notice you're harder to reach, but they won't know you're doing it intentionally. They'll assume you're busy, important, valuable, and that assumption becomes their reality. If you announce you're becoming less available, people feel rejected. They feel like you're specifically excluding them. They push back, they test, they feel entitled to your old availability. But if you quietly become scarce, there's nothing to reject against. There's just a person who seems increasingly valuable, someone whose time feels precious, someone worth pursuing. You didn't announce you were changing the dynamic, you just changed it, and they adapted without resistance because there was nothing to resist. Men are so simple that the deceiver will always find someone willing to be deceived. The person who announces, "I'm less available," becomes a target. The person who just stops being available becomes a mystery. You want to be a mystery. You want them wondering, not challenging. Don't fight for the right to not be available. Just don't be available. The fight was never necessary. That's the second elimination, availability. Stop giving it quietly. But there's another leak running even deeper, one that gives enemies everything they need to control you. What is it? The third thing you must quietly eliminate is emotional reactions. You react to things. People say something and your face shows how it affected you. Someone does something and you respond with visible emotion. You get excited and everyone sees it. You get upset and it's obvious. Every reaction you show is information you're giving away, and information is power. When people know what affects you, they know how to control you. They know your buttons, they know your triggers, they know exactly how to manipulate you because you showed them everything they need. Watch what happens when someone knows they can get a reaction from you. They use it. They push that button when they want control. They trigger that emotion when they want leverage. They pull your strings because you showed them where the strings are. Your reactions are a manual for manipulating you, and you've been handing out free copies to everyone. Here's how you eliminate emotional reactions without anyone noticing. You don't announce, "I'm working on my reactions." That signals weakness and tells them you know you're exploitable. Instead, you just start pausing. Something happens. Before you react, you pause. You process internally, you decide what to show, and then you show only what serves you. Not nothing that's suspicious, just controlled response instead of automatic reaction. People will start finding you harder to read. They'll throw things at you that used to get reactions and get nothing. They'll wonder what you're thinking, but they won't know you changed intentionally. They'll just know they can't read you anymore. If you tell people you're working on being less reactive, you give them a map. They know exactly what you're trying to change. They know you're aware of the weakness. Some will help you, some will test you harder just to see if you've really changed. But if you just quietly become unreadable, there's no map to follow, there's no weakness to exploit. There's just someone who suddenly doesn't give free information anymore. By the time they realize they can't read you, they've lost the ability to manipulate you. The window closed silently. Never let your emotions overpower your intelligence. Emotion is exploitable, intelligence is not. The person who shows emotion shows weakness. The person who shows calculation shows strength. You don't have to be cold, you don't have to be a robot, you just have to choose what you show instead of automatically showing everything. That choice is power, that control is strength, and it requires no announcement, just practice. That's the third elimination, emotional reactions. Become unreadable quietly. But there's another leak related to this one, something you're giving away that has real value, something that's costing you more than you realize. What is it? The fourth thing you must quietly eliminate is free advice. You give advice freely. Someone has a problem and you solve it for them. Someone asks a question and you give them your best thinking. Someone needs strategy and you hand it over like it costs you nothing. But it does cost you. Your insights have value, your thinking has value, your ability to solve problems has value, and you've been giving it away for free. To people who don't appreciate it, to competitors who use it against you, to energy vampires who take your best ideas and give nothing back. Think about how much strategic value you've given away. Problems you've solved for people who never return the favor. Ideas you've shared that someone else implemented. Advice you've given that made other people money while you got nothing. You treated your intelligence like it was infinite and worthless, but it's finite and valuable. Every piece of advice you give for free is an investment with no return. Every problem you solve for free is energy you could have used for yourself. Here's how you eliminate free advice without anyone noticing. You don't announce, "I charge for advice now." That sounds arrogant and creates resentment. Instead, you just stop volunteering. Someone mentions a problem, instead of jumping in with solutions, you listen. You nod. You say nothing strategic. If they directly ask for your help, you pause. You ask what they've already tried. You make them work for it. And if it's valuable enough that it should cost something, you find ways to create exchange. Not always money, sometimes value for value, sometimes favor for favor. Sometimes you just don't give it because they haven't earned it. If you announce you're charging for advice, people who got it free feel cheated. They feel like you've changed the rules. They resent the new boundary. But if you quietly become less generous with strategic value, there's nothing to resent. You just seem more thoughtful, more careful, more selective about what you share. They don't know you're withholding intentionally. They just know they're not getting free solutions anymore, and they either step up with value exchange or they find someone else to drain. A wise prince must never take things easy in times of peace, but rather use them to advantage. Every moment is an opportunity to build position. Giving away advice for free is taking things easy. Using your advice to build alliances, create leverage, or generate exchange is using peace to advantage. Your brain is a resource. Start deploying it strategically instead of giving it away to anyone who asks. That's the fourth elimination, free advice. Stop volunteering your best thinking. But there's another leak that's costing you even more, one that's draining your time and energy in ways that feel normal. What is it? The fifth thing you must quietly eliminate is comfort friendships. You have relationships that cost more than they pay, friends who drain more energy than they add, people you keep around because it's comfortable, because it's familiar, because you've known them forever, not because they contribute anything to your power, your growth, or your goals. These comfort friendships feel harmless, but they're leaks. Every hour with someone who adds nothing is an hour not spent with someone who could add everything. Every bit of emotional energy spent on relationships going nowhere is energy not spent building something. Think about the people you spend time with. Who makes you more powerful after you see them? Who leaves you feeling drained? Who actually contributes to your goals versus who just takes your time? Be honest, some of those friendships are net negative. They cost more than they're worth, and you keep them because ending friendships feels dramatic, feels mean, feels like something bad people do. But keeping relationships that drain you is something weak people do, and you're eliminating weakness. Here's how you eliminate comfort friendships without anyone noticing. You don't announce, "I'm cutting you off." You don't have a dramatic conversation about how the friendship isn't serving you. That creates enemies, that creates drama, that creates people who talk about you negatively. Instead, you just fade. You respond a little slower, you accept fewer invitations, you initiate less. You're never rude, never cold, just less present. The relationship slowly dies of natural causes. No one can point to a moment where you ended it, it just faded. And by the time they notice you're gone, they're not angry, they just assume life happened. If you announce you're cutting people out of your life, you create a list of enemies who feel rejected. They talk about you, they turn others against you, they make your social environment hostile. But if you quietly fade, there's no rejection to point to. There's no moment to point to. There's just gradually less of you until you're not there anymore. They might not even notice for months. And when they do, you're already so far gone that reaching out feels weird. The relationship ended without ever officially ending. 5 leaks sealed. Explanations, availability, emotional reactions, free advice, comfort friendships. You're already more powerful than most people will ever be. Most people never seal even one of these leaks. They live their whole lives draining power through these 5 holes.